I love making one-pot meals. It's simpler, you only have one pot, all that flavor stays in that one pot, and SOG Sausages makes it possible to have a lot of variety. Let me show you some of the great dishes that I've made here as one-pot meals that you can make. I have braised cabbage with their garlic sausage, and I use chunks of bacon, cabbage, their garlic sausage, a little bit of chicken broth, and some minced onion. And then over here, braised chicken thigh using their chicken brats and young potatoes and red wine. And then over here I have a delicious Bockwurst Hunter stew. And it's Bockwurst sausage, which is made with pork and veal with a variety of wild mushrooms and some tomato. And here I made steamed clams with chorizo, garlic, and creamy soft polenta. Now, if you can't find the chorizo here, I also want to show you that you can use any of the other SOG spicy sausages like the Atomic Hots or the Andouille. And then finally over here, a 5-bean soup using the basil cracked pepper sausage. All of these done in one pot, and all of them done in a really short period of time. Not a lot of work, but a lot of flavor. Now let me show you how I made some of these great dishes. I'm using SOG's chicken brats from their Naturals line, and I just cut it in about an inch thick pieces on the bias like that, just on a little angle. Now the first thing I do here for this dish is I take a strip of bacon. I'm using Hormel's Black Label thick cut, and I've just chopped it up in little pieces and I rendered it in this pan. And now I'm gonna salt and pepper my chicken. And these are skin on and bone in. I'm gonna lay the chicken skin side down. And I'm on about a medium heat. And ultimately what I want to do is I want to crisp up that skin, get it nice and brown. And it's going to give great flavor and going to look fantastic. So we just want to let that cook for about 3 minutes or so, not move it around a lot. Okay, so once the chicken thighs are brown, I'm going to put them back on my plate here for a second. They're going to go back in the pan and cook some more, so it's okay they go in that pan. Now I'm going to add some chopped onion, my sliced chicken brats, saute that around with my bacon, some garlic, and some potatoes that have been cooked in water for about 20 minutes. Still firm, but they're pretty much cooked through. And I'm using some fingerling potatoes, but you can use any potatoes you like. All right, now chicken thighs go back into the pan. I'm just gonna nestle those right into the potatoes and sausage mixture. Now braising is basically roasting with liquid, and the liquid I'm going to use is some red wine and a little bit of chicken stock. Here goes my wine and my broth. And then lastly, take a fresh sprig of thyme and just put that in there like that. Don't need to do anything other than just sprinkle it in. And now we're ready to cover it. And into the oven it goes. 350 degrees for about 1 hour. All right, our braised chicken thighs and chicken brats are done. Let me show you how I like to present. Oh, the aromas are just insane. So delicious. So I start with taking some of these beautiful potatoes, put those on the plate just like that. And then I like to give 2 chicken thighs per person because that's how I am, nice and generous. 1 could be enough, but hungry man like me, I like 2. A few pieces of the chicken brat in there like so. Take some of that delicious braising liquid, just spoon that over both the chicken thighs and a little bit over the brats. Some of those pieces of bacon, beautiful. And then I have some little lettuce here, a little mosh lettuce just on top. And there you have the braised chicken thighs with chicken brats. Now, let me show you how to make the clams with chorizo and soft polenta. This next one-pot recipe I love so much because it's quick, easy, and so delicious. I'm using the SOG Spanish chorizo, but if you can't find their Spanish chorizo, don't worry, you can make this dish with a number of their other sausages. I recommend the Southwestern style turkey, the Atomic Hot, or the Andouille. All of those sausages have great, big, bold flavors that will go great with the clams and polenta. Now the first thing I do is I take my pan and I put a little extra virgin olive oil in there. Add my chorizo. And I like to brown that up a little bit, not too much. And there's already, you see the spices in the chorizo start to get into the oil, turning that oil that beautiful, like burnt orange color. It's beautiful. Add some chopped garlic next. Now, I like a lot of garlic with my clams. I'm an East Coast guy. I think that's an East Coast thing, but if you don't like garlic too much, you can leave it out or just put a little bit in. Next, I like mine spicy, so I add a little bit more chili flake. Now the chorizo is on the piquant side. It's not super spicy hot. It's just got a great spice flavor. The chili adds a little bit of bite that I like. Now, this is smelling already so good. Now you don't want to brown your garlic because you don't want it to burn and get acrid. Just want, as soon as you start to smell the garlic, now you're ready to add your other ingredients. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of crushed tomatoes. Add my clams. These are cherry stone clams that have been washed, and you can use also manila clams or even little neck clams. Next, I add a little bit of white wine, some clam juice. Then I take some fresh oregano and I just break it up like that, sprinkle it in there like so. And then finally, a little knob of butter, a couple of whacks with my pepper mill, bring it up to a boil and put a lid on it. 4 minutes has passed and my clams have opened up and this dish is done. Look at that, quick, beautiful. So to serve it, I like to serve it over this creamy, soft polenta. And I simply cook polenta 4-to-1, broth to polenta. And I used a little bit of chicken broth and a little bit of clam juice as well. Salt and pepper, a knob of butter, and let that polenta cook for about 30 minutes, nice and slow. It gets beautifully creamy like this. Take some of these clams and just put them right in the middle. Now this could be a great appetizer, or it could be an entree, whatever you like. And then make sure you get some of that delicious chorizo. Just put that over everything. Great flavor, great textures. There you have steamed clams with chorizo, tomatoes, and creamy soft polenta. And for my final one-pot recipe I'm going to share with you, I'm using Sog's Bockwurst, which is a classic German sausage where they use pork and veal and they finely ground it. And this version has some parsley in it and some onion, has lots of great flavor. And I'm going to make a recipe what I call my hunter's stew. And it has a variety of wild mushrooms. I have portobellos, chanterelle mushrooms, shiitakes, and cremini mushrooms. And I start with a little bit of olive oil in a pan. And this is a very hot skillet. And I've cut the bockwurst in, about 2-inch pieces, and I score the skin just a little bit. So I brown it a little bit to give it a little bit of color and also a little bit of texture. And I love how the sausage opens up where it was scored. Looks beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit of yellow onion and a little bit of minced garlic. So I want to cook this until the onions start to caramelize, and that caramelization of the onions makes them really nice and sweet. All right, so they're starting to brown. You can smell that garlic. In go my mushrooms. I'll start with the chanterelles, along with the shiitakes, portobellos, and creminis, but you can use whatever mushrooms you like. You can even use dried mushrooms. I would just recommend reconstituting them in some red wine or some broth first. Okay, now these mushrooms are going to cook down quite a bit. I want to season them with a little bit of salt and a couple grinds of my pepper mill. So I'm going to put the cover on them, turn it on to high, and I'm going to let those mushrooms cook and steam at the same time. What's going to happen is where they're contacting the bottom of the pan, they're going to get nice and brown and sweet and a little bit crispy. And on the top part, from putting the cover on, they're going to steam and get nice and soft. So they're going to have a lot of different textures and great flavor. All right. Oh, that's beautiful. As you can see, the mushrooms have cooked down a little bit. You get some browning in there. That's what I call the love. That's where all that great flavor resides. There's concentrated flavors of the mushrooms, the onion, the garlic, the bockwurst. You definitely want some of that browning. It's going to give the dish a real nice amount of body. These mushrooms smell fantastic. Okay, now I'm going to add some tomato. These are just some diced tomatoes. Then I add a couple of leaves of sage, a little bit of red wine, a little chicken broth, and then a little knob of butter. So put the cover back on, let it cook for about 5 minutes on medium, and it'll be done. All right, my hunter's stew is ready. Oh, that is beautiful. So I take some of the bockwurst and I just put that in my bowl like that, right here. Then take some of these beautiful mushrooms that have been stewed with the red wine, a little bit of broth, the tomatoes, just like that, and a little garnish of some small fresh sage leaves. Voila. And there you have bockwurst hunter's stew. So there you have just some of the possibilities for delicious one-pot meals. Always easy when you start with SOG sausages. For more great recipes, go to sogs.com.